LUBINDA expels all PF MPs. What happens next will shock you. A Bill 7 fallout. They voted yes on Bill 7. Hours later, they were no longer Patriotic Front members. Given LUBINDA's decision to expel PF MPs who broke party ranks has sent shockwaves through Zambia's political landscape. But here's the real question. Did these MPs just destroy their careers or unlock a new political path? Tonight, we examine what comes next. Good day, viewers. Welcome to another edition of InspirAfrica Official. I'm Nakash. It's been quite a week here in Lusaka, and if you've been following Zambian politics, you know things have been heating up considerably. But what happened in the past few days has sent shockwaves through parliament, through party offices, and through the very foundations of our political system. Today, we're diving into a story that sounds almost too dramatic to be true. A story of political defiance, constitutional crisis, and the kind of power play that will be studied for years to come. Imagine this: you're an elected member of parliament. The people of your constituency sent you to represent them. You took an oath. You have a duty. But then, in a single sweeping decision, your own party leader, the man who controls your political destiny, declares you expelled. Not just you, but dozens of your colleagues. All at once. Gone. What would you do? Would you accept it? Would you fight back? Would you even know where to begin? This is exactly what happened when Patriotic Front acting President Given LUBINDA issued a stunning directive that has left the opposition in chaos and the ruling party celebrating what they're calling a constitutional victory. But here's where it gets even more shocking. What if those MPs refuse to leave? What if they argue the expulsion is illegal? What if they show up to Parliament anyway, claiming they still have the right to represent the people who elected them? And perhaps the most chilling question of all, if a party leader can expel elected representatives with the stroke of a pen, what does that mean for democracy itself? Who really holds the power, the voters or the party bosses? What happens next could reshape Zambian politics for a generation. And trust me, you won't believe how this story unfolds. Factual foundation. The revelation came to light on December 16, 2025, when Given LUBINDA, acting as the de facto leader of the Patriotic Front following the suspension of former President Edgar Lungu from active politics, issued a formal communication that stunned both allies and adversaries. The backdrop to this dramatic moment is Bill 7, the controversial constitutional amendment bill that has divided Parliament and sparked fierce debate across Zambia. The bill, championed by the ruling United Party for National Development, seeks to make significant changes to how parliamentary seats are vacated, particularly in cases where MPs cross the floor or defy their party's official position. For weeks, tensions had been building within the PF caucus. Some MPs were reportedly considering supporting Bill 7, while the party leadership had taken a firm stance against it. Behind closed doors, accusations of betrayal were being whispered. Party whips were allegedly compiling lists. Loyalty tests were being administered. Then came the first crack in the facade. On December 12, during a heated parliamentary debate, 3 PF MPs broke ranks and voted in favor of amendments that aligned with the government's position. The party leadership was furious, but they remained publicly silent at first. By December 14, internal party communications began circulating. Sources within the PF revealed that senior leaders were meeting in emergency sessions, discussing how to respond to what they viewed as an act of treachery. The phrase disciplinary action appeared in leaked WhatsApp messages. Then, on December 16, LUBINDA made his move. In a letter addressed to the Speaker of the National Assembly, LUBINDA invoked Article 72(2)(h) of the Zambian Constitution, the very provision that Bill 7 seeks to amend. He declared that all PF MPs who had voted contrary to the party's official position, or who had indicated their intention to do so, were hereby expelled from the Patriotic Front. The list was extensive. The exact number remains disputed, but reports suggest anywhere from 15 to 22 MPs received expulsion notices. Their names were read out at a hastily organized press conference. Their photos appeared on social media with the word expelled stamped across them. The political establishment was in shock. Parliamentary clerks scrambled to understand the legal implications. The Speaker's office issued a terse statement saying they were reviewing the matter. And the expelled MPs themselves? Many of them learned of their fate not through official party channels, but through breaking news alerts on their phones. Direct evidence. Given Lubinda wasted no time in making his position crystal clear. Speaking to assembled journalists on the afternoon of December 16, he delivered a statement that was equal parts legal argument and political theater. Let me be unequivocal. The Patriotic Front has exercised its constitutional right under Article 72 subsection 2 paragraph H. These members, and I want to be very clear about this, these members have voluntarily resigned from the party by their actions. They have voted against the party position. They have indicated their intention to support legislation that is fundamentally opposed to our party's core principles. When pressed by a journalist about whether the expulsions were rushed, Lubinda didn't hesitate. Rushed? No. This has been coming for weeks. We gave these members every opportunity to align themselves with the party's official stance. We held meetings. We issued whip notices. We made our position abundantly clear. And yet, they chose defiance. So let me ask you, what is a party leadership supposed to do when its own members work against it from within? One of the expelled MPs, Honorable Brian Kambita from Choma Central, spoke to reporters outside Parliament the following day. His voice shook with a mixture of anger and disbelief. I am still a member of Parliament. The people of Choma Central elected me, not given Lubinda. So how can he just expel me and expect me to accept it? I took an oath to represent my constituents, and that oath doesn't disappear because one man decides he doesn't like how I voted. Kambita went on to challenge the legal basis of the expulsion. Article 72 says a member loses their seat if they voluntarily resign or if their party writes to the Speaker requesting their expulsion. But here's the thing, I never resigned. I never said I was leaving the PF. So on what basis am I expelled? Because I voted my conscience? Since when is that a crime in a democracy? Another expelled MP, Honorable Patricia Mulna from Pika, was even more direct in her criticism. This is dictatorship. Pure and simple. Lubinda is trying to consolidate power by eliminating anyone who questions him. He knows that if Bill 7 passes, he loses this weapon. So he's using it now, while he still can. But let me tell you something, we're not going anywhere. We're going to fight this in court, and we're going to win. Meanwhile, Speaker of the National Assembly Nelly Moody found herself in an impossible position. Speaking during a parliamentary session on December 17, she attempted to navigate the constitutional minefield. The chair has received correspondence from the acting president of the Patriotic Front regarding certain members of this House. I want to assure all honorable members that this matter will be handled with the seriousness it deserves. We are consulting with legal experts, with constitutional scholars, and with the parliamentary service to determine the correct course of action. When pressed by an opposition MP about whether the expelled members could continue sitting in the House while the matter was being resolved, Speaker Moody offered a careful response. The chair will make a ruling once we have fully examined all the legal issues involved. Until such time, all members who have been duly elected retain their seats unless and until the chair rules otherwise. But perhaps the most revealing testimony came from within the PF itself. A party insider, speaking on condition of anonymity, told journalists, Lubinda is desperate. He knows his grip on the party is fragile. Edgar Lungu is still the people's choice, but he's been sidelined by the courts. So Lubinda is trying to create this image of strength. But he's scared. You can see it. He's scared that if these MPs survive this, his authority is finished. Deeper analysis. The expulsion of the PF MPs raises profound questions about the balance of power in Zambian democracy. On the surface, this appears to be a simple case of party discipline, a leader enforcing loyalty among his ranks. But look closer, and you'll see something far more troubling. The ruling UPND has been quick to frame this as vindication of their position on Bill 7. Government spokesperson Cornelius Mwikwa issued a statement that barely concealed his satisfaction. What we're witnessing is precisely why Bill 7 is necessary. The current system allows party leaders to wield autocratic power over elected representatives. Given Lubinda has just proven our point for us. He's expelled members who dared to think independently. This is not democracy, this is party dictatorship. The UPND argument is compelling on its face. If party leaders can expel MPs at will, then MPs become mere puppets, unable to vote according to their conscience or the interests of their constituents. Bill 7, they argue, would protect MPs from exactly this kind of political bullying by making it harder for parties to trigger the loss of parliamentary seats. But constitutional law experts offer a more nuanced view. Dr. Chanda Chungu, a senior lecturer in constitutional law at the University of Zambia, points out a critical distinction. The question is not whether party discipline is legitimate, it clearly is in a democracy. Parties need cohesion to function. The question is where we draw the line. Does a party have the right to expel members who vote differently? Absolutely. But does that expulsion automatically cost them their parliamentary seat? That's where the constitutional ambiguity lies. Dr. Chungu explains that Article 72(2)(h) creates what legal scholars call a two-stage process. First, the party must expel the member. Second, the party must write to the speaker requesting that the seat be declared vacant. Both steps must occur for an MP to lose their seat. What's fascinating about this case, Dr. Chungu continues, is that the expelled MPs are arguing that the expulsion itself was improper. They're saying they never actually left the party, and therefore the expulsion is null and void. If that's true, then the speaker cannot legally declare their seats vacant, because the first stage of the process was defective. This legal ambiguity has sparked intense debate. Some argue that the courts, not the party leadership, should determine whether an MP has truly resigned from their party. Others insist that parties must have the freedom to define their own membership without judicial interference. The political implications extend far beyond the immediate fate of these 15 to 22 MPs. If Lubinda's expulsions are upheld, it sends a chilling message to every opposition MP: toe the party line or lose your seat. But if the expulsions are overturned, it could embolden MPs across the political spectrum to vote their conscience, potentially fracturing party discipline altogether. There's also the question of timing. Critics have noted that Lubinda's move comes just as the PF was beginning to show internal divisions. Some senior party members had quietly expressed support for elements of Bill 7, recognizing that the current system gave too much power to party bosses. By expelling dissenters now, Lubinda may be trying to prevent a broader party split. But there's a darker possibility that some observers are whispering about. What if this is all theater? What if the UPND and PF are both playing the same game, using Bill 7 as a wedge issue to divide their opponents while consolidating their own power? After all, if the expelled MPs lose their seats, by-elections will be called, and in the current political climate, the UPND would likely win most of those seats. The expelled MPs themselves are pursuing multiple avenues of resistance. Several have filed petitions in the High Court, arguing that their expulsion violated the PF's own party constitution. Others are appealing directly to the Speaker, providing evidence that they never indicated any intention to leave the party. And at least 3 have announced their intention to remain in their parliamentary offices, daring security to physically remove them. The Speaker, meanwhile, is in an unenviable position. Whatever she decides, roughly half the country will accuse her of bias. If she upholds the expulsions, she'll be branded as complicit in the destruction of parliamentary independence. If she rejects them, she'll be accused of undermining legitimate party discipline. And that, viewers, is where we stand today in this constitutional crisis that has gripped Zambia. The expelled MPs are defiant. Given Lubinda is doubling down. The Speaker is deliberating. And Bill 7, the legislation that started all of this, continues its journey through Parliament, with its fate now more uncertain than ever. What makes this story so compelling is that there are no easy answers. Both sides have legitimate arguments. Both sides can claim to be defending democracy. And yet, at the end of the day, real people's livelihoods and political careers hang in the balance, and real questions about the future of Zambian democracy remain unanswered. Will the courts intervene? Will the Speaker rule in favor of the party or the individual MPs? Will Bill 7 pass, rendering this entire controversy moot? Or will we see more expulsions, more challenges, and more constitutional chaos in the weeks ahead? One thing is certain, this story is far from over. Thank you so much for watching this edition of InspirAfrica Official. I know this was a lot to take in, but these are the kinds of complex, messy political battles that shape the future of our nations. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Lubinda was right to expel these MPs? Or do you believe they have the right to vote their conscience? Let me know what you think. I'll be back tomorrow with more news, more analysis, and more of the stories that matter to Africa. Until then, this is Nakash, reminding you to stay informed, stay engaged, and stay inspired. Take care, and God bless.